Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, and here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. We are learning more about the man police say opened fire at MSU, injuring and killing several others. The latest on the victims and how police were able to track down the suspect. Plus, another bill affecting transgenders means more conflict at the Capitol. What the new proposal would restrict coming up. And the flying object investigation continues. A closer look as briefings are being prepared after multiple objects have been shot down. But first, meteorologist Nathan Scott joins us. Nathan, you warned us Mother Nature wasn't feeling the love today on this Valentine's Day. Will the rain or her tears eventually stop?
Well, good afternoon, Jurnee. Yeah, we've got some soggy weather out there. You saw behind you, those clouds are rapidly moving, and that's just because of the gusty winds. But here's a radar, a solid area of green showing up. There's a few rumbles of thunder, but we're not expecting any severe weather out there today. But you see, solid area of rain, sometimes heavy rain, where you see those yellows in northeast Arkansas, all the way from Marianna to Jasper, extending all the way down for you folks in Hampton, Monticello, Pine Bluff. But look at the visible satellite. Clearing is happening in Oklahoma, so this is a very fast-moving system, and we will see the rain end here in central Arkansas by the mid to late afternoon hours. The winds, though, they will stay on the gusty side. Wind advisory remains in effect for all of Arkansas until midnight tonight, and here's why. Because those wind gusts have clocked in about 30 to as high as 40 miles per hour in Harrison, and there could be some gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour in northeast Arkansas. But like I said, today, no concerns with severe weather. Tomorrow night, different story. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, where we do have a slight risk, 2 out of 5, for a large part of Arkansas. As our next storm system moves in, I'll have more details on the timing of that and impacts coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Well, investigators have identified the suspected gunman in the deadly shooting at Michigan State University. 3 students were killed and 5 others critically injured. So far, police have no motive for last night's deadly attack. Jordan Burroughs has the latest from East Lansing, Michigan.
Police say this surveillance photo led to a tip that helped officers find the gunman who went on a deadly rampage through Michigan State University, killing and injuring multiple students.
We mourn the loss of beautiful souls today and pray for those who are continuing to fight for their lives.
Authorities identified the shooter as 43-year-old Anthony McRae. They say he took his own life last night during a confrontation with police miles from the campus. They add he has no known ties to the university, past or present.
I know everybody wants to know what the motive is. We don't have an answer right now, and that's the honest truth.
Police say the gunman opened fire shortly before 8 p.m. Monday inside an academic building and then later a student union. This video shows students fleeing a dining hall as police arrived.
Everyone's freaked out, everyone's terrified, and it's a lot, it's a lot.
Michigan State University has about 50,000 students, including 19,000 who live on campus. All classes and activities are canceled for at least the next couple of days.
And our Spartan hearts are broken. We're grieving, but as a community, we're grieving together.
There have been 67 mass shootings in the U.S. since the beginning of the year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. That's more than 1 per day. Jordan Burroughs, CBS News, East Lansing, Michigan.
Well, not only is it Valentine's Day, it's also special election day for those who live in North Little Rock. Those within the North Little Rock library system are hoping you have a date at the ballot box. This is because they're asking for a mill increase worth $2 million for updates to their buildings. The library system is currently assessed at 3 mills on property taxes in the city of North Little Rock, and they are asking to move that to 5 mills. The $2 million will go to infrastructure updates that those within the library system call necessary. According to Terry Hollingsworth, Pulaski County Circuit and County Clerk, the city hasn't had an election for an increase in 20 years. And this afternoon, the unofficial numbers show that only 28 people voted on the last early voting day, Monday, with 447 North Little Rock residents voting in total.
I just think that is not great. We have about 37,000 people who can vote in this North Little Rock election, and we really need people to get out and exercise their right to vote We do anticipate more voters on Election Day because there are a lot of people who actually want to vote on Election Day, which is very good.
Terry advises voters to visit the SOS Voter View website, which you can access from the Pulaski Clerk's website. There you can look at the ballot, go over this one issue, and most importantly, see all of the 16 voting locations that are in North Little Rock and where you need to go. Polls close at 7:30 this evening. And an Arkansas Senate bill would restrict transgender youth health care. This is coming nearly 2 years after Arkansas became the first state to ban gender-affirming care for minors. That ban, known as the SAFE Act, is blocked because it's still facing legal challenges. This new bill would make it easier to file a lawsuit against a doctor who provides gender-affirming care, something Gary Stubblefield, one of the bill's authors, claims isn't real.
There's no such thing as a gender-affirming care. You cannot affirm something that does not exist. What does exist is chemical castration, sterilization, and surgical mutilation.
State Senator Clark Tucker disagrees and thinks the bill would do more harm than good.
It won't affect 99% of Arkansans or more, 99.9. But the people who it does affect, the message they receive from this is that the state they live in hate them.
The bill passed in committee Monday and now moves on to the full Senate. And this morning, Nikki Haley just announced her bid for the White House. She's the former Republican governor of South Carolina and U.S. ambassador for the United Nations. Haley made the announcement a short time ago on social media. It means she's the first candidate to challenge former President Donald Trump. CBS Mornings will have much more next hour. The Biden administration is saying very little about 3 unidentified objects shot down over the U.S. and Canada over the past several days. That follows the downing of a Chinese spy balloon more than a week earlier. As Ed O'Keefe reports, lawmakers are demanding answers from the president.
What in the world is going on?
Lawmakers are sounding off amid concerns about the trio of mysterious objects shot down by U.S. fighter jets here over U.S. and Canadian airspace, and who or what put them in the sky.
Someone's going to have to explain to me why it is that more details have not been made available to the public on things that are flying right over their heads. I don't see the justification for that secrecy.
CBS News has learned the object shot down over Alaska Friday looked like a metallic drum about the size of a small car. The one shot down Saturday over Canada's Yukon territory looked cylindrical and was carrying a tethered payload. And a U.S. official says an F-16 fired 2 short-range missiles to take down the object over Lake Huron on Sunday. It was shaped like an octagon, with strings hanging off. Attempts to recover all 3 have been hampered by conditions in those remote areas. Meantime, new images from the Navy show remnants of the Chinese spy balloon being hauled out of the Atlantic Ocean. At the White House, spokesman John Kirby explained why officials are so certain it was spying.
It slowed down, sped up, maneuvered a little bit, trying to get a look at what we believe to be sensitive military sites.
That's far different than the other 3 objects picked up on radars, which have recently adjusted to find flying objects that may be smaller or slower.
They weren't being maneuvered. It was basically they were being driven by the wind.
No matter what they are, U.S. officials say they know this.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns.
President Biden has ordered his national security advisor to bring together leaders of the Pentagon, State Department, intelligence agencies, even the FAA, to sort out how exactly to deal with these unmanned objects going forward. And the U.S. is strongly denying a Chinese charge that at least 10 U.S. spy balloons have flown over China in the past year. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
Right now, search and rescue efforts in Turkey and Syria continue this morning after a massive earthquake left thousands dead. It's been just over a week since the region was hit by the earthquake in the middle of the night. The death toll has surpassed over 37,000 people and will go down as one of the deadliest quakes of the century. The United Nations announced their plan yesterday, saying the rescue phase is coming to a close.
Our teams also continue to conduct structural damage assessments of buildings with the hope of being able to clear as many as possible. To date, they have assessed more than 5,500 buildings, allowing thousands of people who are currently displaced to be able to return home.
Nearly 25,000 buildings collapsed or were badly damaged. Well, loneliness can be as dangerous for your health as obesity or substance abuse. After the break, how social interactions are critical for survival. Nathan?
It's a dreary Valentine's Day and wet one across central Arkansas, but the rain will be clearing out, but more showers and storms are expected later tomorrow into tomorrow night. And some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe. Details on that forecast coming up.